Hello, this is Jonathan Hui from Anaheim, California. Day 22, Spread the Love, presented by Lori Van. Well, here are my takeaways. One word with three letters came to mind immediately after Lori's sharing was WOW. Wow, I was really speechless after I heard what she said. But during the speech, Lori touched on many points that pertains my current situation as if the Lord is confirming his new calling for me to do in my retired life right now. Let me explain. By the way, if you have not watched my previous video posted here in this Facebook group, I encourage you to do so to get a better understanding and continuity of my stories. Okay, following are a few of the points that Lori's speech have touched my heart today. Well, point number one, life-saving cure. I don't consider my new calling is life-saving cure of anything or any disease, but I see it as a vehicle to give hope to others who may be suffering from or facing life calamities. So point number two, put this light up on the hilltop. Well, for years, I've been sharing different testimonies in local churches and events. Although many were blessed, touched, and encouraged by these testimonies, they were all venues that I consider as relatively small circle with limited people. But God is now trying to put me on top of the hill for many more to hear and see through the social media platform. What better way to spread the love during this lockdown pandemic period when even churches and public events are mostly closed, right? So point number three that Lori pointed out is hold back on our gift, on my gift for that matter. A few years back, through a prophetic prayer meeting, God has spoken to me directly that He will give me a new gift. At that point in time, I couldn't even imagine what that may be. Well, until recently, someone I respected very much told me that I have a gift of teaching and telling stories, especially my own stories. There, a new vision was born in my mind. This vision is to take my story to the internet world through social media. In previous video, I have told the story how very uncomfortable and how much I hate speaking in front of a camera. I was in essence holding back on this gift. Point number four from Lori. Action speaks louder than words. Well, there is a similar saying in one of the Chinese proverbs. It says, our action should always match our words. Well, to tell you the truth, I have fought with God on this new calling. I told him he's crazy putting this awkward man in front of a camera, telling his life difficult and sometimes maybe even shameful story for the whole world to see and hear. But he promised me through his words that he will go with me. He said this will not be my own story, but his story through me. Therefore, I took the leap of faith and took this action to fulfill God's not my wishes. Point number 5. Lori said, if you have a purpose, you will have light inside of you. Some of you heard my story about how God yanked me out of my 40 plus years in a secular career and forced me into a retirement that I have no prior warning of. As I seek God's guidance what to do with my retired life, I have received this new calling. As I said earlier and in my previous video, I have rejected this calling. It was only when I totally surrendered myself to the Lord, this became my purpose and my new passion. Point number 6, spreading the love. Laura used an example of how some of us would get easily distracted, right? When someone asks for a prayer, we simply say, yeah, I'll pray for you, and soon forget to actually pray for that person. Well, I'm one of those who would admit the guilt myself. All right. So also, Lori gave another example of when we watch a post or video on social media, how easily that we simply just click the like button and moved on, and soon forget about what we just read and watched. As I have just shared with you about this new calling, soon became my new purpose and new passion in my life. I view this as my little light or only a little spark. I encourage you to ask the Lord what He wants you to do with this spark that you just saw and you just heard. Perhaps you can be a tinder. If you are, feed it to the spark and make a small flame out of it. And some of you can be the big logs, and some of you can help fan this fire once it catches on fire, right? So let's bring this fire, this light, up to that hilltop. Not just one hilltop, but many hilltops. Hilltops in California, hilltops in Dallas, Germany, China, Indonesia, and to the end of this earth. Let's fulfill Jesus Christ's great commission to all of us. Finally, Lori touched on the subject of coincidence. When this video is made, I have just turned 63 years of age, and I have lived a very complicated life. Many stories I have shared with people in the past and will be in the future may appear to be coincidental. But this is a new mission the Lord called me to start. I encourage you to follow my video even beyond these 31 days of devotional program. Judge for yourself whether or not what God has done and is doing and will do in my life are purely coincidence or not. Lord said at the very end that each day of our life is a gift. So true. What are you and me going to do with this gift today? Don't forget, only God knows whether or not we live till tomorrow. Don't forget, don't just click the like button below. Make comments and suggestion. Join me in putting this little light among so many others including your own on this hilltop for all to see. God bless you. God bless you all.